When women start becoming like men, things are getting bad on the earth. When women are starting to try to be men, starting to they're sleeping with other women. Every time you look on TikTok, there's sex being sold. Women are prostituting themselves. A lot of the consumers of these women selling sex, look under the comments. A lot of them are other women. Oh, yes. Let's talk about it. A lot of them are other women. A lot of women today, they can be in the, if you see a woman with a home girl and they playing each other too close, or they're sleeping, they having sleepovers all the time and parties, pajama parties every weekend, and you need to pay attention to that, bro. Like, your woman is probably has lesbian tendencies. A lot of women have given themselves over to serve Satan today. Yes, they really have. A lot of women and men are trying to pinpoint what's going on. They don't know what's the problem with relations, because if you look at it throughout history, relationships are the weakest is that they've ever been in. Throughout this time in history, because we already know, like, the Lord's destroyed the world once, so throughout this point of time, you understand, right now in this age of time, this is the point where, like, we're getting we're bottlenecking to the Ephesus, to the end. We're bottlenecking to the where everything is being revealed very quickly. Women in today's day and age, they're following prostitution. Like, the prostitutes, if you look at it, the prostitutes, the city girls, they're the most popular. You don't see how it didn't used to be like that. They were shamed. Prostitution was a shameful profession. They were, because women understood, like, men and women understood what type of people they are. You understand? And not everyone, I'm not saying that they just bad people at the end of the day, but they're the type of people that they aren't the type, they're not in the lifestyle where you want to glorify it. Let me just say that. It's the same way, like, would you glorify a crackhead? Saying that that's what I want to be when I grow. We need to be that, yes, and put them all on TV and give them millions of dollars. Do more crack. We want to see that. We love you. Just keep on cracking. Like, you're not gonna say that. Come on now. Like, let's be real. But people today, again, there's a strong delusion that's been put over women's eyes, and it's been done by the system, everything else. And it's ego building up, because, of course, women feel like they've been second class citizens. They feel like that because they are the weaker vessel, and this is ordained by God. God's done it. They feel like that they need to. A lot of women feel like they need to rebel, like they need to, and this comes with taking on an unnatural position. When you take on a position of a man, you get what comes with it. That's why you're not going to be able to really have a husband, because you're too combative with him. You don't want to agree with him. You want to do everything your way. God ordains women, to be a helpmeet. God's proud of women when, they helping their husband and things like that. I can go into, and I'm going to go into a Bible verse about a good woman. You understand? You can't be a good woman and you're not serving a man. You're not serving a God-fearing man. God's ordained you to be the helpmeet to a God-fearing man. In some women, you can help a man find God. Like, with all the influence that you be having in your relationship, you could help a man who's not a God-fearing man find God. You understand? In the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, verse 10, it says that a good woman is hard to find and worth more than diamonds. A good woman is not selling her man under the bus. A good woman isn't saying, "Oh, I'm done with these men. I'm finna go get me a girlfriend and be the man in the relationship." In God's eyes, you're not a good woman. I'm just telling you, that's in God's eyes. It don't matter what you do. Don't matter what you say. You're just not a good woman by your actions. You understand? Not a good woman. You might be something else, but you're not that. God is telling you, God tells you in the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 26 through 27, it says, because of this, God gave them over to shameful lust. Shameful lust. This is what the Bible teaches now. And this isn't just the Holy Bible, which is the Word of God. You have the Quran teaches this. The Torah teaches what the Torah, like, what happened in when Moses was on at the Mount Sinai and he was down there with the Hebrews, and they didn't want to listen. The people of Israel did not want to listen. You understand? And what they were down there when they was building that golden calf. When Moses came down, Moses wasn't even gone for, Moses wasn't gone for a long period of time. You would think these people who just saw, this is like people who they just saw all the miracles of God on the earth. They saw him doing all the stuff that he was doing, and they still betrayed, went against God and betrayed Moses. When he got down there, men out there sleeping with other men, women sleeping with women, causing all type of debauchery. God opened the ground, swallowed them up whole. Like instant trips to hell. God just opened the ground up. It's exceedingly bad when women, see, and the Bible tells you in the book of Romans, it's saying even their women exchange natural relations for unnatural ones. So there's implications that lesbianism is worse than male homosexuality in the facts of deviation from the norm. See, men are more lustful than women. Men, they have more, like, that's why you hear niggas in jail. You've heard this before. You hear, and I don't subscribe to none of this foolishness. I think it's nonsense. But you have men in jail who will be like, well, it ain't no women. So, I had to do what I had to do. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? That's proving my point. That men are just like, look, if it's available, whatever, like, even to the point of rape. To where they'll rape, like they got to have. That's men who are just burning in their lust. These men like have a mental and spiritual illness. Have you not saw the movie Black Snake Moan? Now that goes for women, but men can have that same spirit, like just burning in that. Men ain't just super lustful, cool hound creatures where you just sleep with anything. Like niggas sleeping with horses and everything. Come on, like you got a mental and spiritual illness. You need help. You need freaking help. And you just don't realize it. You need to get help before it's too late. See, and for women, it's the same spirit that come upon them, but it's an unnatural spirit for women. God said even their women exchange natural relations for unnatural ones. It's unnatural for a woman to be so full, burning in her lust, so forceful, grabbing another woman, grabbing her by the throat, giving her, doing all these kissy, trying to be a man, grabbing another woman's behind, thrusting her, doing stupid stuff, looking foolish. They look stupid. But, that's very unnatural. You doing things, you think God's not seeing that? God's not happy with you. Like, now, while you doing what you doing, God is on the throne and he not happy with you. You take that how you want. If you take it how you want. Like some people today, like I said, it's a pacifier for you to, try to make up in. People talk about God, be like, you heard lesbian people, LGBT community, people, like I say, who sleeping with animals, people, you hear a lot of people talking about all walks of life, talking about God this. You're like, which God are you talking about? Are you just pacifying? You're just trying to pacify yourself by making up your own religion. But you're not talking about the God of the Bible, because you know how the God of the Bible gets down. He's not with it. He looks at this as an abomination. Abomination is something like you don't see that many times in the Bible that he says that about things. Like he says a lot of things are sin. We know that. But I'm going to look up the definition of abomination. Let's just go here and give you the Webster. Abomination, a thing that causes disgust or hatred. Atrocity, disgrace, horror, obscenity, curse, torment. A feeling of hatred, detestation, loathing. Do you revulsion? Do you understand? Do you want God, like, do you want God to to be looking at you in outrage, looking at you with detestation, like detest and loathing? Do you want God to be looking at? See, that's what the homosexual lifestyle is, why it's dangerous. I'm trying to tell you, brothers and sisters, come out of that foolishness. If you love another person who's the same sex, you a woman, you love another, then let the love be pure. Don't have it be a sexual relationship. If you love them, let the love be pure. You don't need anything from them. You don't need them to touch you. You don't need, get out of here. Quit being weird. Let the love be pure. Because I'm telling you, when you doing that, God looking at your relationship, everything you doing, he looking at it he's looking at it as an abomination. I just gave you the adjectives of that. You want God to look at what you're doing, your lifestyle, with detestation, loathing, disgrace, outrage, hatred. Because let's not be phony. God said, Jacob I love and Esau I have hated. God can love, God can hate. God hates certain lifestyles. I didn't say he looking at the person. I didn't say that he was looking at you with hatred, but he looking at your whole lifestyle. You are living the lifestyle. You can't separate yourself from your lifestyle. You understand? Because that's what you're living out. You believe that. So he's looking at that whole thing with detestation, loathing, and hatred. You can't die in that state. You think if you passed away in that state that you're going to make it to the kingdom of heaven? Be realistic. Come on now. And I'm not saying this. I'm saying this to truly wake the LGBT community up from their delusion. If you just gonna be if you don't subscribe to the Lord, the God of the Bible, the true living God who raised Yeshua from the dead, you understand? If you don't subscribe to that and you just want to go ahead and pacify yourself in non-belief, go ahead and do that. Just go over there. Don't worry about Christians. Keep Christians' name out your mouth. Don't worry about them. Just go off and do your thing. You don't believe that stuff anyway. So what they talking about, just look at it as nonsense. If that's how you feel, you understand? Even though you know it's real. Like I know you even in your heart. So, but for you people playing in your conscience, but for you people playing Christian, and want to be in the church and still live in this sinful lifestyle, man, you need to stop. I'm telling you to wake up. Which God are you serving? Which God are you even talking about? Because the one that you talking about, if you talking about the same one that I serve, that you already know, like you totally opposite of that guy. Like that God is basically, you serving him in vain. Like you're not serving him for one, because you're not obeying his laws. You're not obeying servitude and love. You don't love God because you're not obedient. Said who loves me, is the one who does the will of my Father. You're not being obedient to God. Obedience. You living contrary to his life that he have for you. You doing things that he calls an abomination. You're calling name, so you're calling out his name in vain. You praying in vain. You doing all that stuff in vain. But I think in y'all heart, man, y'all really praying to Satan, man. And that's how much Satan is paralleling the living God right now. He's flipped everything. All the stuff you see, just think of anything you see. It shouldn't even be that way. It should be the other way. Just think of that. Like right now, in these times are so wicked. Just think of something that you see right now. Say like relationships. You see your two women together. It should be the other way. In today's day and age, you got more men coming out the closet, like men who you would never look at and be like, like, bro, really? Like, you attracted to other men? This should be the other way. Those men should have a wife, man. You have men in Hollywood right now, a bunch of men in Hollywood, women looking at them as sex symbols and things like that. They got whole boyfriends and husbands. It should be the other way. You shouldn't be have to pay. You own your own home. People you still paying the government over and over. Like, you can't own nothing at the end of the day, bro. It should be the other way. You understand? Like, I could go on and on with things. Like, you shouldn't have to go somewhere and be looking over your shoulder. Like, and when you go into sending your children to school, they shouldn't have to go to school and be worried about is somebody gonna come in and shoot up things, or is the teacher gonna go nuts? Like, it should be the other way. Things are just flipped on his head. People shouldn't be influenced by Hollywood, watching on their phones all day, buried in the phone, looking at stuff and being detached from actual human contact. It should be the other way. So Satan's really doing a number on putting a strong delusion over people's eyes. But what I want you to understand is that you aren't serving Jehovah if you are living an LGBT lifestyle, a homosexual lifestyle, living a lifestyle, any lifestyle of sexual perversion. If you out there being a whoremonger male, you're not serving the Lord. If you out there sleeping with pigs, like Bessie, and you call her Bessie, and you put her in a little piggy thong, and you sleep, bro. You not serving God, Jehovah. You may be serving Lucifer, and that's fine. Just rep it. If that's what you see people in Hollywood over and over, Madonna, all these people, they repping Lucifer, the Baphomet. They're telling you they doing it. Because they know the lifestyle they live in is contrary to Jehovah. Even if they don't really believe in that, that's fine. If you don't believe that, that Jehovah raised Yeshua, Jesus Christ, from the dead. If you don't believe that figure was the Son of God, that's the most, we have the most evidence for this historical figure than any other ancient figure that we have. Jesus Christ is an ancient figure. We have more evidence for his existence than any other. If you don't believe that Jehovah, the living God, the creator of all you see, time and space, that got all this stuff jumping, you don't believe he raised Yeshua from the dead, that's fine. That's your prerogative. But just go ahead and represent. If you believe in Satan, like, if a lot of just really pay attention, man. Pay attention, because Satan is the one who lives contrary to God. That's why he got kicked out of heaven. You think Satan is down with homosexuality, living how you want, doing what you want to do? That's his whole goal. Now, people really want, like, if you really repping that, go serve him. Go serve Satan to the end. And quit trying to call out, talking about, oh, God, this is Jesus. Bro, you ain't serving Jesus. You wasting time. So with that being said, I just wanted to just really get that out there. When women are burning in their lust for other women, things are bad. The times are even worse than just in the times of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is proven that times today are even worse than they are in Sodom and Gomorrah. It says, even their women. So that term seems to suggest that it's more common for men to engage in sexual depravity. And when women begin to do it, that's a sign of things getting really bad, because men usually have a stronger sex drive. So they're more prone to sexual deviancy. But when women are committing unnatural sexual acts, the degree of immorality has truly become shameful. Lesbianism is evidence of people being given over to the sinful desires of their hearts to sexual impurity for the degrading of their bodies with one another. This is, this is just something that's very telling. Like, when as I'm doing these messages, I'm feeling, this is the Holy Spirit speaking through me. I'm feeling the power of these messages myself. And I'm just in contemplation, just thinking, sighing here. Like, we really are at some, in some bad times. We really are at the end. And, because these are times worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. Women, you see every other day, if you turn on look at the news, you see a female teacher who's then molested a young student, or committed, they don't really call that molestation when it happens between a boy and a woman teacher. You understand? They want to say that she groomed, that they just had some underage sex, or, she had sex with a minor. They don't say molestation. They say sex with a minor. No, she molested the kid. You understand? And these women, they don't care what age they are. Woman could be, she molested 13-year-old. Soon as the boy hit 12, she ready. They jumping on them. These women are sexual perverts. They're deviants. Every time you see a woman shaking some booty on online, and you see too much of that online, you see another woman behind her grabbing all on her. It used to be that men was dancing with women back in the day. You don't see that in the clubs no more. Women is all standoff for men all there. They pop locking together. You see a dude nowadays, you see all these effeminate males, they running around like, but then you see males who just deprived of the norm. They're just depraved, of the normal energy that women are supposed to produce. The men are robbed and depraved of that, and depraved of the normal energy, not just the sex. Like, no, it's not just about sex, like a woman's essence. They're deprived of that on the earth. And the times when it gets like that, men, they have a mechanism. See, like the men who not know on no LGBT homosexuality stuff, those men, they get it's a mechanism that gets switched within them, and the aggression meter just gets turned up more. Hold on, it wasn't enough. More. And you start seeing men start really just doing some highly aggressive things, like swag splat, just just doing things that they shouldn't do. I'm gonna be honest. Like a lot of men are smart enough to be able to channel those outlets, but they don't have the same disarming mechanisms around women anymore. They look at them on the same threat level as men. So now it's no turn down for the high octane activity. It's why you see women coming out here, cops seeing women, they tossing them out the car, flipping them, they choking them out too. They not tripping. They not looking at you no different. That's why when you see these store owners, these male store owners kicking off and beating up women for stealing from them, doing all this high. The aggression levels are high with men, because women have just basically tried to take the role of men. And that's an unnatural practice. That's unnatural. It causes it's an abomination on the earth. God sees that as an abomination. You understand? Two women laying together doing the things that's unsightly and against the Lord. Like, I don't see how you can try to think that you're serving the Lord. Like, I don't see how you can think, but you're conscious. But again, God has given people over to those sinful desires and the things of their heart. You understand? The heart can be very wicked, man. And tell you something and can lie to you. Again, see, David and Jonathan, that's an example of pure love. They weren't related, but those men were brothers. I got men I'm not related to that I know that I love them like my own soul. Those men are my brothers. Do you understand? And it's nothing that anyone can do to change that. But there's no sexual relationship there. Do you understand? That's when you make that pure relationship impure. Men and women getting together, and you choosing a wife, and a woman choosing a man she want to be with and serve, a godly man she want to serve and help out, and y'all build a family together, and children are produced, and the good things of God, the fruits of God come from that. That's under God. You understand that? That's ordained by the Most High Jehovah. You understand? El Elyon, the Most High God. That's ordained by Him. You are serving Yeshua, following His footsteps. Some people may not ever, they may not even get married. They may not even take a wife or a husband or whatever, and they may just. But I say, if you're gonna do that, use your life to serve the Lord. Keep your relationships pure. You understand? Keep your relationships pure. You don't have to, like, if that's the case, then you don't have to have sex. What I'm really trying, and people got to really understand that's been something that society has sexually charged you. Look at what you see on TV every day. It's sexually charged material. That sexually charged material is what has you feeling the way you feel. Like, I remember coming up, man, my the older men in my family just tossed us Blacktail magazines, Playboy magazines, boom, at a young age. I'm talking about before I was even a teenager. Boom, boom. Here you go. Just, have fun. That was too much for a child to take, and too early for a child to start learning about sex, seeing grown women and busting. You know how women used to do. Like, come on, that was too much. Like, these are porno magazines. Like, you shouldn't kid. But men thought that was that's gonna straighten my son up. No, that's gonna sexually charge him. He shouldn't be that sexually charged. A lot of people's too sexually charged. Like I said, and then they don't care about what they do. Like, they got this mental and spiritual illness also. They've been hurt with traumas, and now, see, with women, a lot of times they're emotional. So a lot of women became lesbians off of emotional hijacking. Yes, I will say that. A lot, it's a dominant, and it's all about dominance. Homosexuality is based off dominance. That's what it's about, between men and women. It's a dominance, and it's a fetish. Like, really, it's a dark fetish. If people, a dark sexual proclivity that people have been given over to, and they give themselves over to that. You can give yourself over to things like that, to things of Satan. Like, Satan can give you he can give you the stuff to entertain, but you have to actually go through with it. It's not a sin to be tempted. It's a sin to go through with the stuff. It's not a sin to be tempted, because these sometimes thoughts aren't even your thoughts. You have to discern. God gives you that ability. That's the hidden gem of life. Like, even in your subconscious, when people don't remember their dreams, you can have demonic forces implant things in your subconscious. You had a whole 3-4 hour dream. You don't remember that. You slept for 8 hours. You was dreaming the whole time. You wake up, don't remember, but you retain all that in your subconscious. You do what you will with those choices. Do not, people who say that they were born that way. And I'm going to end it before I end this video. I have to do that. People say they're born this way. I believe them. I do believe that. And I'm not saying this in any type of mean spirit. I feel for LGBT homosexuals and people who really struggle with that. Like, they had struggles in their life. They and they have these unnatural urges that they even know are unnatural. See, those people I feel for, I pray for, and I guarantee you, and I'm telling you, Jesus Christ is sufficient. You have people who struggle with that and made it through that. You understand? He is sufficient. But for those who say that they born this way, and I think that, yes, that, there's some truth to that, but they don't understand the full truth of what they're saying. A lot of times you have the demonic ties, like demons that attach themselves to people at birth, and you're getting implanted thought and things like that, and God has to allow these things because of your sins of the fathers, the mothers, and the way that things work in fairness. So you're getting, these are your tests. This is just some of your tests. You get implanted that thought. Now, not everybody runs with those thoughts. You think this is something, you think that, oh man, I just have to go do this now. This is just because I'm thinking this now. I'm gay. I'm a girl. I feel like I'm a girl. And you just go forfeit your whole manhood. You didn't even deal with the problem correctly. You didn't even address the thing correctly. But see, that's because you're blinded to the true workings and goings on of the world. Because again, your family didn't try to give you God. They didn't try to teach they aren't God fearing. You're not raised in a God fearing household. Some people who are LGBT were raised in the Christian household, but they just made the choice. They made the choice to join it to be homosexuals. They made the choice. And again, if you make the choice, that's your prerogative. No one's stopping you. But just be prepared to take what comes with it. And that says that's the penalty for their perversion. You're going to take that within your own soul. So just as long as you're fine with, like you say, when God is ushering you into the lower pits of hell, you understand, and things like that, just be like, okay, I knew this was coming. You see even people in Hollywood, they're serving Satan. They throwing up the Baphomet. They representing who they serve. So all I'm saying is just do that. Don't try to fool. Don't live in a delusion. Don't fool yourself. Don't try to fool the people. The new Christians. Don't even try to sell them that bill of goods, that false bill of goods, because you don't even believe that yourself. So look, I just want to end that, man. I want to go ahead and end this message, and I want to end it with scripture. Go ahead and give it to you again. This is in the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 26 through 27. It says, because of this, God gave them over to shameful lust. Even the women exchanged natural relations for unnatural ones. That's what's going on today. And when that happens, the times are becoming increasingly wicked. Stay prayed up. We are at the end of the age. Get prepared for the coming of Jesus Christ, man. Be prepared for the coming of the Lord. He is returning. Are you prepared? Will you make it? Are you going to make it into heaven? Are you going to make it? Well, God is he going to look at you and say, well done, my good servant? Think about that now, not tomorrow. So with that being said, peace and blessings to the hearers and doers of the Lord's word. This is The Awakening. I am Super Solican. Peace.